Yaltamod 6 to M. The Haunting of Route 66. It was a late summer evening when Jake and his friends decided to take a road trip along the legendary Route 66. Excited for adventure, they piled into Jake's old Jeep, ready to create memories under the endless desert sky. As the sun dipped below the horizon, they passed through a desolate stretch of road. The wind whispered through the cracks of the windows, and shadows danced along the asphalt. They stopped at a small roadside diner, the kind that looked like it hadn't changed since the 1950s. The neon sign flickered, casting an eerie glow. Inside, the atmosphere was thick with nostalgia. The waitress, an elderly woman with a knowing smile, served them milkshakes and fries. As they chatted, she leaned in closer and whispered, "Be careful on the road. It's not safe after dark." The friends exchanged nervous glances, but shrugged it off as just another local legend. After finishing their meal, they continued down the highway, laughter filling the air. But as night fully enveloped the landscape, an unsettling quiet fell over the Jeep. The only sound was the low hum of the engine and the occasional rustle of wind outside. Suddenly, the headlights illuminated something strange, a figure standing in the middle of the road. Jake slammed on the brakes, skidding to a halt. The figure, a woman in a tattered white dress, seemed to glide toward them, her hair tangled and wild. Her eyes, hollow and dark, bore into Jake's soul. "What the hell?" Mark, sitting in the back, gasped. "Is she okay?" Before Jake could respond, the woman reached the passenger side and stared in, her lips moving but no sound escaping. Panic surged through the group. Jake shifted into reverse, but the woman stepped forward, blocking their path. In a flash, she vanished, leaving them in stunned silence. "Did you see that?" Emma whispered, her voice trembling. "Yeah, but we need to keep going," Jake replied, heart racing. He turned the wheel and they sped off, the darkness swallowing them whole. Minutes passed, but the air grew heavier. Strange whispers echoed around them, making it hard to concentrate. Then, the radio crackled to life, playing an old song, the same one they had heard in the diner. The laughter faded as dread settled in. Suddenly, the Jeep's engine sputtered and died, leaving them stranded in the middle of nowhere. The lights flickered and then went out. The darkness was complete. "Let's get out and check the engine," Jake suggested, though his voice quivered. Reluctantly, they stepped into the night, the oppressive silence suffocating. They fumbled around under the hood, but nothing seemed wrong. Just then, a soft sobbing echoed from the road. The group froze, recognizing the sound from before. Jake hesitated, but said, "We should check it out." They cautiously approached the source of the sound. As they got closer, they saw her, the woman in white, now kneeling on the ground, her face buried in her hands. "Are you okay?" Emma asked, stepping forward. The woman looked up, tears streaming down her face. "Help me. Please." Before they could react, the ground beneath them trembled. The whispers grew louder, enveloping them in a cacophony of voices, each more desperate than the last. "Get back in the car!" Jake shouted, pulling Emma away from the ghostly figure. They raced back to the Jeep, hearts pounding, adrenaline surging. As they scrambled inside, the whispers crescendoed in a deafening roar. The woman stood at the edge of the road, her expression a mix of sorrow and rage. "You can't leave me. You must help me find peace." Jake slammed the door and fumbled with the keys. The engine roared to life just as the woman lunged forward, a wail echoing in the night. With a surge of fear, they sped away, the haunted road stretching endlessly behind them. The radio crackled again, and the last thing they heard was her voice, pleading, "Don't forget me." They drove on in silence, the weight of their encounter lingering. No one spoke of what happened that night, but the memory haunted them, a reminder that some roads lead to darkness, and some spirits never find rest.